All right, everybody, Steve Austin. I appreciate you downloading the Unleashed show. We are locked and loaded. I'm firing on all cylinders, ready to bring everything, including the kitchen sink. But first, we really got to take care of some serious business because this is important, people. You got to protect yourself and you got to protect your family. You want them to be taken care of in case something happens to you. Now, I know it ain't an easy thing to think about, but trust me, you'll be glad you did. Now, I know a lot of you have plans in place for retirement. Maybe you did some financial planning to help you save money. You took out insurance policies. But to get real peace of mind, you need to make sure your family and your finances are legally protected, and that's where my friends at LegalZoom come in. They've been helping Americans for over 13 years with everything from personalized wills to living trusts to powers of attorney. LegalZoom was started by some of the best legal minds in the country, and they make it easy and painless for you to get the legal protection you need. They will walk you step by step through the process and answer any questions you may have. And for special savings, be sure to enter my code, Austin, in the referral box at checkout. So go to LegalZoom today to protect your business and take control of your family's future. And remember to use my promo code, Austin, to save yourself some cash. LegalZoom offers legal help through independent attorneys and self-help services at your direction, but they are not a law firm.
The following program is a podcast1.com production.
He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio. And he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from Hartwell, Georgia, out here filming Season 4, Redneck Island. And must I say, I am having a blast. It's been a great time out here so far. The people continually amaze me at their friendliness and generosity. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure sooner or later I'm going to run up on an asshole because there's assholes all over the world. Just turns out I ain't found one out here in Hartwell, Georgia yet. So, anyway, having a blast. It's going to be a badass show. I think you guys are going to get a goddamn kick in the ass out of this particular season. We got some great rednecks. We got some great challenges. We got some great things that I can't tell you about until the show comes out on country music television here in the near future. Ain't gonna be long till this show is on the air, and this sumbitch is gonna knock your socks off. And when I'm filming a television show, I always hope that the television show will knock the television audience's socks off. This is one of those shows. You're gonna dig it the most, and I'm having a blast. Holy shit. I can't tell you folks how busy I am. Actually, I can because I got a podcast and I ain't got nobody to talk to, so I'm gonna tell y'all how busy I've been. I've been busy as a motherfucker since I've been here. Couple of shout-outs before I get rocking and rolling. If it sounds like I'm on cocaine, I'm not. If it sounds like I'm on amphetamines, I'm not. If it sounds like I've been smoking dope, I'm not. If it sounds like I've been drinking too much coffee, I have not been doing that either. I just got so much shit to do, I ain't got time to fiddle fuck around, lollygag, got any time for no hullabaloo. It's straight up. As soon as I wake up, I'm drinking coffee, I'm eating, I'm working out, I'm memorizing lines, I'm getting groceries, I'm cooking food, I'm washing clothes, I'm drying clothes, I'm folding clothes, I'm shaving my face, I'm coloring the gray hairs on my goddamn goatee, and doing all the other bullshit that I do. I'll tell you what, I'm so fucking busy, I've been thinking about hiring a personal assistant. No, I ain't going to hire a personal assistant, but I can see why people hire personal assistants. Being a global icon and a national treasure is one thing, but I really treasure my privacy and my alone time when my wife is not around, so I will continue to hump it double duty, double time, and dropping 2 double shots of audio whoop-ass while I'm here filming Redneck Island. It's a packed schedule. I ain't had a day off since I've been here. And I ain't complaining. I'm just telling you what's going on in my life. I had a day off the other day, but that was the day we had a photo shoot for Redneck Island, so it didn't really count as a day off. I have a day off tomorrow, but it's not really a day off tomorrow because I got to drive 100 miles into Atlanta to film a little commercial I've just set up. And then I got to drive back and come back to work here on Redneck Island. memorizing the things I've got to say, knowing the rules for the challenges, and giving the instructions to these rednecks. And when I say rednecks, we got some good ones this year. All the rednecks in the past 3 seasons have been stellar. Season 4, double stellar. Got a bunch of guys and gals out here, country to the bone, and having a good time. And they putting up, and we got some great challenges. It's a real bust-ass, fun show. And this is a show that's going to knock your socks off. It's going to come out here probably in a couple months on country music television. Always working hard to bring you some good shit, whether it's Redneck Island or Broken Skull Challenge. That's right. We're going back to camera on Broken Skull Challenge. The week after I get back, we head straight out and go into Season 2. And I've been looking at these casting reels. We got some bad motherfuckers coming out. So we keep upping the ante on the Broken Skull Challenge. And that show has been so good. I appreciate all the feedback that y'all have given me over the past few months when the show has been airing. And it was a big success for CMT and myself. And I appreciate you guys supporting it and watching it, because if nobody gave a flying fuck, we wouldn't be doing Season 2. That being said, before I get all cranked up and tell you about some of the shenanigans I've been going through out here in Hartwell, Georgia, I got to give a couple of shout-outs that I meant to give out last week. One in particular, I got to thank a guy named Joey. Joey, I don't know your last name. You sent me an email. I forgot your last name, but you know who I'm talking about. You listen to the show. Joey is the guy who came to my crib and hooked up my internet service. So I got 5 meg service out here. It's not the fastest in the world, but way out here in the woods, it necessitates everything that I need to be able to email my podcast in to Stacy to put all the shit together to deliver 2 timely cans of audio whoop-ass to you, the people who consume the audio whoop-ass. So thank you, Joey, for coming out to my house. Folks, when Joey came out, it was about 9 or 10 p.m. I had just been through about a 13-hour day. We finished late because the first day, when you're filming any kind of a show, is generally a clusterfuck because not everybody has united as a team yet. It's a different format and protocol. Everybody's trying to be a little bit cautious. You got to fall into a groove and get into that rhythm. So I was tired as a motherfucker. Luckily, I had a couple of Sweetwater 420s up in the refrigerator, and I was drinking those motherfuckers in my lazy boy recliner when Joey came over to hook up my cable. And it took him about an hour, because for some reason they was having some technical difficulties. But anyway, him and his friend who came over from work, and I forgot that dude's name, but if you listen to the show, thank you very much. That's how I'm able to get online, field the questions that y'all send in at questions@steveaustonshow.com. So thank you very much, Joey, and your partner for hooking a brother up with the damn Wi-Fi. And one more thing, I want to give a shout-out to a couple of ladies I met at the gym a while ago. I was over getting my swell on, getting my workout in, and they asked if they could take a picture with me after I finished my workout. And I said, well, sure, take a picture. And we did. We all finished about the same time, and I told him, I said, I don't mean to be in a hurry. I just got a lot of stuff to do because I'm kind of a one-man crew out here trying to get all my shit done, you know, with work, working out, food prep, clothes, all that bullshit. And they said, oh, we know how busy you are. We heard you on a podcast. And so I was immediately assuming, because these are 2 very, very nice, classy ladies, that they were referring to the Family Friendly Show. And I said, oh, so you was talking about the Family Friendly Show, right? And, oh, no. You know which one we listened to, which means they was listening to the Steve Austin Show Unleashed, and they heard me dropping all them F-bombs and cussing like a motherfucker. So anyway, to the 2 nice ladies who I met at the gym, I look forward to seeing you again. You all know my hearing is so bad, I already forgot your name, so we'll reintroduce ourselves when we see each other. My bad, and I apologize for that. But thank you for listening to the show. And with that being said, it's going to be an interesting show. I got some questions that you guys sent in. I got some things in my schedule that I was going to talk about, tell you a few of the things that happened to me last night. Before I go into a commercial break, I'll tell you one of them. I got home last night, and it's funny, when you do a television show, I got my own vehicle. I drive to the gym by myself. I drive myself home from the gym. When I need groceries, I drive to the grocery store, Ingles, and get my own groceries, pay for them with my own money, load them in the car, bring them back, unload them, and do all that bullshit. So basically what I'm saying is I drive myself wherever I go, except when I go to work and from work. In this case, they send someone from production to make sure that the host, talent, etc., is on time and they're held accountable. And it is that person's job to make sure that we're able to start our business on the time that we're supposed to start. Well, y'all know me. I'm a time fanatic anyway, so I'm always late. And if I'm 5 minutes early, I'm already late anyway. So I'm in a hurry when I ain't even got to be in a hurry. So anyway, Chris picks me up in the morning, and I go over my copy, kind of refresh myself as far as notes go, so I'm prepared for the day's work. But on the way home, I like to take the keys and drive. So anyway, we swung by the office yesterday because the location was actually in South Carolina. I dropped Chris off at the office. Then I proceed to drive the 15 miles back here to the crib. And I get in, it's dark. I'm tired as shit. I'm ready for a beer. One beer, only one beer. I'm on a weight program. And I walked in the front door after I unlocked it and realized that the back door had been left cracked open. Was there a burglar inside the house, an intruder, someone trying to take all the possessions here at the house in Georgia, a criminal in the midst? Now, if I was in Los Angeles, I would start looking for a few of the burglar stopping devices, which I have stashed in various locations in my house. After I looked at the door, the back door, specifically here in this house, I realized, hey, dude, you was out there fucking around on the deck. Ain't nobody here because it's Hartwell, Georgia, and the crime rate is very low. That being said, I have my Spyderco pocket knife in my pocket, so thought I might scan through the entire house to make sure that no one had intruded upon the premise. No, I said, fuck it. Ain't nobody here. We're out in the country. It's very peaceful. I went to the damn refrigerator. I took out a Sweetwater IPA, put it in the ice bucket on top of the freezer, the refrigerator, got that motherfucker cold, put a glass in with it, waited about 8 to 10 minutes, and poured that beer in a glass and had me a cold one and sent out a tweet on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR, said, swig a beer for the working man. So Sweetwater is a local brewery here in Atlanta. Y'all make some good beer. If you're in the area and you can find their beer, go give it a shot. I'm digging the 420. I'm digging the Sweetwater IPA. It's some real good beer. Now, I still got that six-pack that I bought the other day because I'm trying to get a six-pack on my abdomen for the Broken Skull Challenge. But I'm in a peaceful place. I've got a hectic schedule. I got a damn good show. Y'all sent me some questions. I'm going to answer them. And it's funny, before I continue about today's show, let me go back to the Tuesday family-friendly show where I talked to my buddy Kevin Nash, and we just kind of shot the breeze about his diet, getting ready for Magic Mike, and some Uber facts. There's a couple people who sent in some tweets that were very negative about the podcast. And that's the thing about a podcast is it's just like a television show. It's just like a movie. It's just like a wrestling match. It is very subjective. What one person likes, another can hate. What one person thinks is mediocre, someone else thinks is fantastic. Kevin and I are former travel partners. We love each other to death. We're the best of friends. But most of our conversations are never about professional wrestling. We like to talk about the business the few times that he's been on the show. Man, every time I open my mouth, it ain't going to be about professional wrestling. With that being said, I got a lot of wrestling questions coming up on the podcast for you today that you guys sent in, and some other questions as well. Right now, I'm going to proceed to a little spot that I'm supposed to read so we can get on with the body of the show. Because right now, as I record this show, it's 5:45 Wednesday afternoon. They're going to pick me up in 2 hours. So I have to have this show recorded. I've got to go to work. Stacy's got to put it together so you guys can download it tomorrow while I'll be in Atlanta on a day off working, doing what the working man does, trying to pay those gimmicks they send in the mail call bills. Here we go. And don't forget, I got my match of the week coming up in my last segment. And the match of the week is coming from the WWE Network. And you can get the WWE Network for $9.99 a month. And since I've got the WWE Network, I'm loving it. I'm looking at a lot of the old stuff. And today, I'm going to have a blast from the past for your ass. Again, WWE Network like a mug. But first, I got an important phone number I want to share with you because Calling this toll-free number could save you some serious cash when it comes to your TV watching. Here's the phone number. It's 844-269-DISH. 844-269-DISH. Now, if you sign up for DISH right now, you can get programming for the whole family starting at $19.99 a month for 12 months. Hey, people, that's $19.99 a month for 12 months. So why would you pay more than that? You wouldn't. That's why you need to call 844-269-DISH. And if you call DISH now, you can get free installation in up to 6 rooms. No more fighting over the remote for the TV. Free installation in up to 6 rooms means everyone in your house can be a happy TV watcher at the same time. So call toll-free, 844-269-DISH. That's 844-269-DISH. Do it now because it's a limited time offer. 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee and other restrictions apply. Call for details. So, to get DISH for just $19.99 a month for 12 months, call 844-269-DISH. And while you're talking to the fine people at DISH, ask them about other great deals on upgrades to the Hopper and how you can watch your TV anytime, anywhere. Folks, this is a win-win. Call 844-269-DISH.
When you're talking about the biggest names in pro wrestling, you're talking about podcast1.com. That's because 5 days a week, we've got Steve Austin, Chris Jericho, Jim Ross, Goldberg, and Rowdy Roddy Piper. Woo-hoo! All hanging out with celebs and your favorite wrestlers, past, present, and future. Names like Shawn Michaels, Zeb Coulter, Mick Foley, Lita, Eric Bischoff, William Shatner, and Tony Stewart. Some of these names may not be officially wrestlers. So get inside the Audio Squared Circle at podcast1.com. That's podcastone.com.
All right, everybody, let's kick this motherfucker into gear. I want to say thank you to all the sponsors. Keep this show on the air for free and allow me to open up 2 cans of audio whoop-ass for y'all every single week, and that's what we're doing today. I asked you guys to send me some questions and some bullshit to talk about, and that's what you guys did. But speaking of bullshit, man, I've been on that diet. Y'all been hearing about me on that diet, and I got up this morning, and it's every time I wake up, I go weigh myself in the morning. I take a big piss, make sure I get all the urine out of my system because, a bladder full of piss can weigh about 1 pound to 2 pounds, and that'll fuck with your head when you wake up heavier than you were the next day before because your diet ain't working. So I always take a piss full, weigh myself, and got on a damn scale. Now, mind you, this old school scale, y'all know, and that I said on the podcast that the barbecue pit outside is about a 1962 model. It's got 3 flicker flames on it, and it's hard to cook on, so I ain't used it since that first day I used it. Well, the scale in the bathroom is about the size of the paper plate that I'm using right now to write my notes on. Y'all know how big a paper plate is? It ain't very big. That's how big the scale is. And it's got a little window with the dial spins around. It's got a little red needle that tells you how much you weigh. Well, the red needle's so fine, I can't see the motherfucker. So I'm trying to gauge, what I weigh so I know to either eat less food or eat more food based on how much I weigh. Well, when you can't read the numbers, it's hard to make any adjustments because you don't know how much you weigh. So I told my wife, bring my digital scale when you come down on Friday so I know what the fuck I weigh and what I can do with my damn food. And, this damn scale, with all due respect, and these people that own this house are the nicest people in town, but the scale ain't worth the flying fuck. But I appreciate that they, know the value of $1 and it works for them. But I need something a little bit more scientific. And I started thinking about it. I said, well, fuck. I said, my wife could either bring my digital scale, which she is, or she could bring my fucking binoculars because I can't see the damn little needles. Because what I tried to do this morning was I figured if you can't see that red needle, maybe you could squat down. Well, when you weigh about 260 some odd pounds and you try to squat down, you got 2 size 13 feet sitting on a paper plate with a needle on it, you can't see a motherfucking thing. So then I figured, okay, what if you get in kind of like a one squat position, put one leg out, and I don't know if that's a yoga pose or whatever, but 1 size 13 foot versus 2, I might be able to see the needle. Well, my ass is so big and goddamn rickety, and with no coffee in me, ain't no way that's going to happen. So I was thinking about telling my wife, hey, you can either bring the scale or bring the fucking binoculars. That way I can weigh the binoculars on my food scale in the kitchen, add up my total body weight minus the binoculars, and that way I can see the fucking needle while I'm standing there. Shit. Does anybody have as much problems as I do as far as seeing the damn numbers on a scale? Son of a bitch. I got one of them scales at the house to tell you what you weigh, 0.234 pounds. So this some bitch is accurate. So I had a lot of hassle today trying to weigh myself, but I think from straining my eyes, I think that I'm actually taking some weight off. I feel hungry anyway, and I think I'm starting to lose some weight. I'll have an official weigh-in on Friday, so I can't wait for that shit to happen. And then I decided, well, let me go ahead and eat some breakfast after I drank my cups of coffee. And let me see, should I go to the gym first or go to the grocery store first after I ate my breakfast? I think, well, go ahead and eat your breakfast, get you some notes off your computer to talk to the people on the Steve Austin Show. Go to the gym after your food's digested. Right after the gym, go to the store and then come home. Well, that's what I did. But when I started looking around for the car keys, I couldn't find them. I looked for 5 minutes, turned over everything in the fucking house, looking for the car keys. Finally, started patting myself down, and there were my keys in my front pocket. Then I couldn't find my billfold. Looked all over the house for the billfold. And y'all know the story. When you lose something, you look over and over and over again in the same places that it wasn't before, thinking it's going to magically reappear. I went out to the car. We got a habit. Chris, the guy that helps me out here on the show, that picks me up every day, we got a system. I hand him my billfold on set, so I ain't got to have it on camera. And we always put it in the glove compartment. So I went out there and looked in the glove compartment. Lo and behold, it was not there. So I started looking around, making the same circuit over and over and over again. I looked for my goddamn billfold 10 minutes. Finally, I say, it's got to be in the fucking center console. Looked in the center console, wasn't there. What to do? Look back in the house one more time. Go back out the car. It's got to be here. It's got to be here. I know it's got to be in the glove compartment. Open the glove compartment, moved a piece of paper. There was the billfold. You talk about feeling dumber than a goddamn rock. Well, anyway, I made it to the gym, had a pretty good workout today. I got on the pre-core elliptical. I warmed up for about 15 minutes because I was in a time crunch trying to get this podcast turned in. My download time is so slow. And I went over and started training back. I wanted to start today's workout off with deadlift, but there's a dude over there on the power rack who had the only Olympic bar in the gym, so I started off with lat pull-downs, had a pretty good go at that. Went over to the seated rowing machine, had a pretty good go over there. I did about 5 sets of lat pull-downs, 5 sets of seated rows, and then the dude on the power rack was finished, so I grabbed the Olympic bar, loaded it up, did about 5 sets of deadlifts, and then I did one other back movement, and that was my back workout for the day, and had a pretty damn good workout. My sorry ass is still trying to get used to this Georgia heat and humidity. I thought I was going to fall out in that motherfucker. So anyway, sweating like a sumbitch, took a picture with the ladies, and headed down to the grocery store to get my groceries. Now, for my groceries, I needed AA batteries, milk, eggs, meat, salsa, some sauces, some Pam spray. I needed some water, some black beans, some Splenda, and some shaving cream. Now, shaving cream is one of them things, just goes back to the Dollar Shave Club thing. You never know you need some shaving cream until you're out of it, and then you forget about it the next time you go to the store. And then, so when I run out of shaving cream, I just use soap, but that ain't worth a flying fuck. So I almost forgot my shaving cream at the store today. And because on my other diets, I'd been really trying to watch my sweets, and I'm not really a sweet eater, but I had totally eliminated Splenda. And I like having a cup of coffee in the morning with some Splendas in it. About 2 sets that motherfucker off just right with a little bit of milk in there. And I had totally given up Splenda in my efforts to lose weight. But then I started thinking to myself, dude, you got to enjoy a little bit of something while you're on a diet. So I bought me a goddamn box of Splenda while I was at the damn store. And I'll tell you something, folks. I'm enjoying my coffee, and this ain't an endorsement for fucking Splenda. Whatever floats your boat. Equal, the pink one or whatever, because you hear all the reports about Splenda, they say, oh, it's got formaldehyde in it. I don't know what it's got in it, but I like the way it tastes when it gets in my coffee better than plain. So whether it's good for me, bad for me, or ends up killing me, I like to have something sweet in my coffee that's not sugar. So while I was at the store, it's real interesting because it's a big-ass good grocery store. And it takes you a while when you get into a new system to learn where everything's at. So I'm walking up down this thing, and, I always get these people who want to take pictures. So I'm always fine with people that want to take pictures, but then they don't know how to work their phone. So one dude comes up to me after I'd taken about, a couple of pictures and says, "Hey, man, can we take a picture?" I said, "Sure, man." He starts fiddle fucking around with his damn phone. And I'm really, really in a hurry because right now I'm in a time crunch to get this show turned in for Stacy as I speak right now before I go to work. So I said, "Dude," "you just walk with me. When you get it figured out, we'll take the picture." It's one of them big-ass Samsung Galaxy 4, 5, 15s, whatever it is. Sure, it's a great phone, but that motherfucker's so complicated that he didn't know how to work it. Finally, he gets the goddamn phone work, but I tell you what, he probably walked about a half mile with me shopping while he was trying to figure out how to turn that phone on. So I always like to take pictures with you, but just make sure your phone is ready and it's on the camera setting and we're ready to rock and roll so it doesn't take so long to get the process done. Anyway, man, I thought that we probably walked a country mile before we took that goddamn picture, but we got a picture out of it. And then finally, in an effort to save time, I've been eating a lot of ground beef lately because that's the only thing I got time to cook. Chicken, I ain't got time to beat it and tenderize it and flatten it out. I ain't got time to put it on a pit because I got a 3-flicker flame grill that don't even work. I ain't got time to cut it up in a skillet. So I've been eating a lot of 93.7 ground beef, and I figured, you know what? They got some rotisserie chickens over there, and that would really make the task at hand a lot easier for me as long as I peeled all the skin off that chicken. So I go over to the people that make the rotisserie chickens. I said, "Give me 2 rotisserie chickens plain." She said, "We got them on the rotisserie right now. It's going to be about 30 minutes. Sure enough, it took me about 30 minutes to get all my groceries, so I come back, and the lady picked me out my 2 rotisserie chickens and put them in them little containers to contain all the heat, and I went out and checked out of the grocery store, paid for my shit, drove home, and unloaded everything. Well, I hadn't eaten but one time that day, so I figured let me go ahead and eat one of these rotisserie chickens, 10 ounces of it, according to my diet, for my second meal. And I'll eat a bagel. I also got some bagels for some quick carbs after my workout. So here's something, word of note or advice. When you go to the grocery store and those rotisserie chickens come off that rotisserie and they're freshly cooked, they're hotter than a motherfucker. And I knew this when I took the plastic off that sumbitch. And it was almost a child-proof container. I thought I was going to have to bust out my Spyderco military-grade pocket knife to open this motherfucker up. And I had it, I'm telling you, I had the sumbitch in a headlock, and I was peeling the dome off that sumbitch, and it wouldn't let go. Finally, I cranked it off. Steam just started rolling off that chicken. So I grabbed that drumstick, and I was going to peel it off and start separating the meat and put it on my scale. But when a rotisserie chicken just comes out of the oven and it's in a thermal container, it's hotter than fuck. Now, I got a high pain threshold. I got a high tolerance to pain. I don't like pain, but I'm able to withstand a high level of pain. But when you're getting your goddamn little digits on the end of your hand, your fingers burned, you're getting your fingers burned. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not the dumbest guy in the world either. So I figured I would be able to, somehow gently, precariously pluck the chicken off the bone to put on the scale to eat. I said, fuck it. I put the lid back on a rotisserie chicken, busted out my ground beef, browned it in the goddamn skillet, ate a bagel, and called it a day and started putting my damn notes together for today's show. So anyway, word of advice, when you get a rotisserie chicken, let it cool down and then eat the motherfucker. Because if you try to eat that sumbitch right off the damn rotisserie, you will have 3 burned fingers just like me. So when y'all are watching this show, Redneck Island, it'll be about episode 2 or 3. If you see Band-Aids on the end of my fingers, you'll know this was the day that Steve was eating a rotisserie chicken that was hot off the grill and he was too stupid to put the motherfucker down and let it cool out before he ate it. With that being said, folks, don't mean to rant and rave. I got shit to do. Let me get down and answer some of the questions that y'all good folks sent in. Folks, I don't think there's anything worse than having to buy razors. It's a complete pain in the ass, and here's why. Because you usually don't remember that you need them until you go to shave, and then you ain't got any. Then you got to haul your ass to a store to buy them, and for me, when I'm home in Los Angeles, that means traffic in all capital letters. And y'all know how much I hate sitting in traffic. So then you get to the store and all the razors are locked up in a steel fortress, and you got to waste more time looking for an employee who actually has a key to open the fortress. So you go through the hassle of getting there, finding a razor, and you walk up and pay and find out that it's going to set you back $25. Well, guess what? You ain't never got to do that again. All you got to do is join the DollarShaveClub.com. And for a few bucks a month, Dollar Shave Club will deliver the world's best razors right to your front door. Dollar Shave Club is so much smarter than going to the store, and they have plans that start at just $3 a month. You sign up once. It'll take about 2 minutes. Then sit back and wait for your blades to arrive. And they will, like clockwork. Dollar Shave Club is so easy on the wallet, you can shave with a fresh blade every single week if you want to. There's no membership fee, no long-term commitment, and no damn traffic. And Dollar Shave Club has a money-back guarantee. So really, you have nothing to lose by giving them a try. Join DollarShaveClub.com/Steve. That is DollarShaveClub.com/Steve. If you've already tried DDP yoga, then you know. This ain't your mama's yoga. This is a cardio workout that builds strength and flexibility, all while being easy on your joints. And if you haven't tried DDP yoga, then you need to, because my close personal friend, Diamond Dallas Page, has given all you Steve Austin Show listeners a great deal on the Max Pack. See, when you order the Max Pack, you get 15 workouts, you get a nutrition guide, you get recipes, and you get a grid chart to track your workouts. You're also going to get a poster to help you remember the 12 core positions that make up DDP Yoga. You also get the workouts as MP3s so that you can exercise on the go wherever you are. And DDP Yoga ain't just for professional wrestlers and athletes. Hey, this is a great fitness program for people of all ages and all skill levels. Hey, people, join the thousands who are already experiencing the life-changing benefits of DDP Yoga and take advantage of the special deal that DDP's offering on the Max Pack. Now is the time, people. Go to ddpyoga.com/Austin. That's ddpyoga.com/Austin. Do not wait. One more time with feeling. ddpyoga.com/Austin.
Steve Austin, Unleashed.
All right, everybody, you guys send me some questions, and we're going to run through those things. I'm going to answer them. I'm going to take my ass to work. Here we go. All right, let me paraphrase this one right off the bat. Peter Paul writes in, and he's noticing that the wrestlers on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown will do a quick glance at the Titantron after something happens, maybe after someone was down selling or a finish happened. And so they'll look up the Titantron. And he's asking, is there something that they're looking up there for, like a signal to go home or something along those lines? And no, they're just up there trying to look what's going on in the Titantron. And that's one of the worst things you can do as a professional wrestler is to look at the Titantron. Now, sometimes if it's a sneak attack or a cue, you can look up to obviously see what's going to happen. But you don't want to get caught looking up at the Titantron to see what you look like on TV. It's a different story now when you're watching on the NFL, Monday Night Football or college football. Guys will look up at the, not college football so much, but they'll look up when they show the replay to see what happened and also to kind of make a diagnosis. You'll see a lot of times in the UFC fighters looking up the clock to see how much time is left in a round. But basically, when you're in the ring, they're just basically looking up to see what's going on in the ring. And, man, that's one of the things, in my opinion, and everybody's different, but I just don't think, to me, looking at the Titantron is a no-no because that's the last place you want to look, and that's what they're doing. They're just looking to see what's happening. Here's one from Jordan over in Scotland. He says, hey, Steve, I've noticed that there's certain people that really motivate me to stay in shape. For me, it's mainly Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar. They both have that beast mode that they try to emulate, and it works great as motivation. My question is, what or who is it that motivates you to get your ass in the gym? Jordan, the mirror motivates me and the scale. It ain't all about the scale. It's about, what that body composition says in the mirror. So, sometimes I can, go to Gold's Gym or see cats in there working out that are in way better shape than me, and that can motivate you. But motivation for me has got to come from within. I know that I need and want to look at a certain level to make me happy in my head. and for my appearance to be what it needs to be be on TV doing the things that I do. Do people care that Steve Austin has a six-pack? No, not so much. I don't think so. I don't care about that. Man, the mirror for me is what it is, Jordan. Got to be in shape. And, again, in my head, and I'm not a vain person. I'm not going to get any facial surgery. I'm not going to get any eye work done, nose work done. But when I'm holding, and my genetic predisposition is kind of my midsection issues, my motivation comes from the mirror, bro. Good luck to you. And whatever motivates you, whether it's Ronda Rousey or Brock Lesnar, those are two badass, awesome people who are good at what they do and look good doing it. So you've got some great standards to hold yourself up to. All right, now here's an interesting question. I told you guys this could be some motivational questions, and there's many people who wrote in asking for some little bit of motivation tips on getting back in shape. This one in particular comes from Justin down there in Seattle, a great city that I really like to go to when I get a chance to be in that area. And he says, Steve, I'm just starting to get back into the gym and eating healthier after falling away during college. Can you give me some words of motivation or advice to keep me going on my path to meet my strength and weight goals? Well, Justin, you didn't tell me what your strength and weight goals were, but I guess I can assume, and they say that you should never assume anything. That way you don't make an ass out of you or me. But I'm going to go ahead and make the assumption that you want to be stronger, not weaker, and you probably want to maybe weigh a little bit less. Or if you want to weigh more, it's because you want to gain body weight in the form of muscularity. So basically, you just need to get your ass in the gym and hold yourself accountable, weigh yourself, and hey, if you want to weigh a certain amount or bench a certain amount, write those strength and weight goals down and hold yourself accountable to attain those goals. And hit and miss ain't going to get you nowhere. And remember, in the same token, it ain't a sprint, it's a marathon. So put the task at hand, do your thing, be consistent, and be intense. Don't fuck around and talk and just lollygag in a gym. Get your ass busy. All right, got a little question here about the merch available for the girls at the BSR website. I think it's only fair we get some customized merch too, preferably pink. And this comes from Summer. Hey, Summer, I've got some gear coming ASAP. I've been working on a T-shirt deal, and I should have the deal finalized on Thursday or Friday. I'm waiting on my lawyer to get back from a trip to India where he's over taking care of business. So hopefully we're going to have everything settled and everything in go mode at that time. But I'm going to keep you posted. And merch is coming soon. All the stuff from the Broken Skull Ranch and some badass stuff after the fact as well. So appreciate it, Summer. Merch is coming. I get all kinds of emails talking about merch. I am addressing it ASAP. It will be handled. And with that being said, I got some badass designs coming that you will dig, absolutely, that you saw on the show and the other stuff I've had designed since. So coming at you. Hey, check it out. Will you be shooting the breeze with Ted Fowler anytime soon? You could do a whole show just reading Uber facts. I love both shows, Steve, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, Steve, check it out. I'm going to be down there at the Broken Skull Ranch with Ted Fowler for about 2 months. So you're going to get plenty of Ted Fowler in the upcoming deer season, and I'll probably call his ass in about a day or two so we can shoot the breeze and talk anyway about what's going on at the ranch. He's been down there. We got some good rain. I saw on my security cameras. It rained like a summit down there at the Broken Skull Ranch. Looked like we got a couple of inches. Almost the entire state of Texas has been in a drought, and for some reason, somehow, some way, we've been very fortunate to get the rain we've got out there. And Ted will be back on the show. And again, during deer season, I'm going to be out at the ranch. So basically, I'll be Skyping with a few people, but you'll get a big dose of Ted Fowler coming up very soon. And Teddy is on Twitter, Ted Fowler 361. My main man from Amsterdam down at the Rockport area, Ted Fowler Construction. Higher than giraffe, pussy, but if you want some damn work done, if you want it done right, on time, with a clean job, call the man Ted Fowler Construction. Ha! Dig that. Hey, Steve, since you're currently filming Redneck Island and don't have time to have anyone on the show, will Mr. Fly be back on the show? Keep on opening up 2 cans of audio whoop-ass. Steve from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You got 2 questions answered on 1 podcast, you motherfucker. How you feeling now? Let's talk about Mr. Fly. I was down in Mexico filming Redneck Island Season 3. Didn't have no internet, and that fly landed on my ear, and then I just pictured in my head, have the fly land on the microphone and have a conversation with it. And then it turns into a fight, and then it turns into a wrestling match at the Rosemount Horizon with the run-in by Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Didn't know he was in the building. So if you haven't heard that episode, go way back and find out Austin versus Mr. Fly. That was a classic. I don't listen to my own podcast because I don't like the sound of my voice. So that's the only podcast that I probably listened to when I did it about 10 or 15 times. I haven't listened to it since. But I've been thinking about doing a Austin versus Mr. Fly too. But that thing was so organic, and that was almost a total shoot deal. It was almost 100% ad lib, on the fly, on the spot, one take. So to duplicate that and to make it better, to follow up and to be as good as that one, man, all the pieces are going to have to line up. I've been thinking about sitting down and trying to write it out, because this would have to be a match of epic proportions, you know, something that would be WrestleMania worthy. So I have considered doing the Mr. Fly thing, and it was so off the wall and random back then, you know, it worked. Could it live up to the standards that I set for the first one? I don't know. It would have to. And I'd have to work my ass off at it, actually. So I haven't had time to put that much thought into it. The other one just happened so naturally, it came off like it did. But if I get around to it, there will be a match with Austin versus Mr. Fly. I've actually, being out here on the lake, I've actually been considering a match versus Austin versus the Loch Ness Monster, because I was out on my dock last night, just sitting there with that IPA. I told y'all I drank that beer last night. I wasn't lying to you ass. I walked down the little path to the lake. I was out there on the dock, and all of a sudden I hear this guy's voice. I said, "Hey, dude, what you doing?" And I'm looking around. It's dark because there wasn't no lights on. I said, "Who goes there?" And the guy said, "Ned." I said, "Ned who?" He said, "Ned the Loch Ness Monster, motherfucker." I said, "Ain't no Loch Ness Monster." I said, "The Loch Ness Monster, his name is Nessie, and it's over there in England." He said, "Well, look over to your right, bitch." And I said, "Hold it." I said, "Oh, no, you didn't just call me bitch." And the Loch Ness Monster said, "Yeah." I said, "Look to your right, bitch." So I looked to my right, and there was the Loch Ness Monster, Ned, sitting there drinking a Sweetwater IPA just like I was. And I said, "God damn, Ned, you wasn't lying. You a Loch Ness Monster." He said, "I know you're a Loch Ness Monster, motherfucker. That's what I told you." So I said, "Well, shit, you ain't got to get all hot about it, motherfucker, but at least you got good taste in beer. Got you a Sweetwater IPA up in this motherfucker." I said, "You got an extra?" He said, "No, I just ran out." I said, "Well, it's a good thing because I'm on a diet anyway." I said, "What you doing?" He goes, "I'm just chilling." He goes, and I asked him, I said, "I thought the Loch Ness Monster was from England, and I thought the name was Nessie." He said, "Man, Nessie was my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. Yeah, she's from England, but we done moved over here to the United States as well. We all over the world." I said, "Well, how come ain't nobody seeing y'all?" He goes, "'Cause we like to stay out of sight." I said, "Well, why you talk to me?" He said, "Because you a global icon and a national treasure." He said, "When I was a kid, we used to watch you on television." I said, "Hold it." I said, "Ned, Loch Ness Monsters watch television?" He said, "Yeah, we watch television, motherfucker. What do you think we're supposed to do?" I said, "Well, where you got your television at?" He goes, "In my house." I said, "You got a house?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a house." He goes, "What do you think I do, just swim around the goddamn lake?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I ain't never talked to a Loch Ness Monster before. So what am I supposed to know where you live?" And I didn't know a Loch Ness Monster has a house. And I said, "What kind of television you got? And do you got cable?" He said, "We ain't got no cable. We subscribe to the Dish Network. You get 12 months for $19.99 a month and up to 6 rooms. Now, how can you pass that up?" And I said, "Ned, you the smartest Loch Ness Monster I ever met in my life." I said, "Well, you know what, Ned? I'd like to keep talking to you, but I got to go in there and drink my wine and go to sleep because I got a tough day at Redneck Island tomorrow." He goes, "I know. I seen y'all when y'all was in that challenge over there in that water." I said, "Ned, I ain't bullshitting you. I thought I saw a little ripple over there." He said, "That was you?" He goes, "Yeah, that was me, motherfucker. I'm watching you." I said, "All right, Ned." I said, "If I fall off a boat," I said, "your ass gonna grab me and get me out of water?" He says, "I might and I might not." I said, Ned, now, we just struck up a little conversation here. I don't expect us to be best friends, but you wouldn't help a brother out if he was drowning up in your lake, up here at Hartwell Lake? He goes, Steve, that remains to be seen, but I think I might. Seeing as you're a global icon and a national treasure, I would probably save you a sorry country ass. And I said, Ned, that sounds good. I will catch you down the road and see you next time we come out here and drink some beer. And that's a true story, folks. I walked up the aisle, back to the house, and I was thinking, I just talked to a Loch Ness monster, and they do exist. And I saw a glimpse of something else over in the bushes as I was walking back in the house, and I thought I saw Sasquatch. So tonight when I come home from my challenge and drink my IPA, I wonder if I will have a conversation with Bigfoot. No, I am not off my rocker. No, I am not on drugs. No, I'm not high. No, I'm just full of shit. I'm trying to make up a show for you guys. I got a dude coming to pick me up in 1 hour and 15 minutes to go do an elimination to see some rednecks stepping down the line. And with that being said, folks, I'm as full of shit as a Christmas turkey, trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, talking about the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot. I wonder if I should tell Bigfoot about that time I ate that Sasquatch pussy. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. After I take a break, a word from our sponsors who keep me on the air for free to open up 2 cans of audio whoop-ass for y'all's ass each and every week. You know, it ain't no surprise that I'm not the most technically savvy guy on the block, so you better believe me when I say Weebly.com is a great, easy way to build your own website. Easy being the key word there, people. Even I can use Weebly.com. You see, millions of people have created high-quality websites, blogs, and online stores all by themselves using Weebly.com. You will be truly amazed at just how easy it is. You don't need to be a technical genius, and Weebly will be with you every step of the way to help make your site a success. They have hundreds of design templates to choose from, or if you're feeling ambitious, they have a bunch of options for you to create your own unique design. Weebly has a drag-and-drop site builder that lets you build and design your site right from your web browser, and then you can drag and drop all your content elements into place, you know, like pictures, videos, and text. I know you know how to drag and drop, and Weebly makes sure that your website works perfectly on web and mobile. So whether you're building a website for your business, creating a portfolio to showcase your work, or trying to sell your products online, Weebly's ready to help. We all know that making an idea come to life is hard, but making a website for it should be easy. Create your free website today at Weebly.com. That is Weebly.com. Weebly.com. All right, did your season-long fantasy team take it in the shorts this past weekend when the Saints' Mark Ingram, the Chiefs' Jamal Charles, and the Chargers' Ryan Matthews all went down with injuries? Tough week for running backs and tough week for your fantasy points. Well, the good news is that you're not out of the money yet. Thanks to DraftKings.com, you can win instant cash this week. That's right. DraftKings.com is awarding huge cash prizes every single week. And right now you can get free entry into the Millionaire Maker event where first place takes home $1 million. Go to DraftKings.com and enter the promo code Steve for your free shot at becoming the next millionaire. At DraftKings, you ain't got to worry about injuries. You ain't got to worry about bye weeks. And you ain't got to wait till December to collect any winnings. That's why DraftKings is America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. And hey, don't forget, use the promo code Steve and get free entry into the Millionaire Maker event. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. So enter Steve now at DraftKings.com. That's Steve at DraftKings.com to get free entry into the Millionaire Maker event. Got your mind on your money and your money on your mind. All right, everybody, coming right back after a Loch Ness Monster story. That was a true story, believe it or not. Damn, that sumbitch drinking Sweetwater IPA. He was out there at the end of my dock. I talked to him. I think I took a picture of him. If a picture comes out, I'm going to make sure that I put it on my website. But anyway, on to the questions that you guys sent in, motivation. And here's an interesting from Brian over in Los Angeles, California. It's a long-winded motherfucker. And he said, Steve, how's it going? I hope all is well with you, sir. I'm pretty much writing to you regarding your Thursday podcast, to make a long story short. I'm in definite need of some motivation. I'm 22 years old. I'm a young dad with 2 kids, and I'm starting to fall on the overweight side of the scale. I eat and eat so much crap, can't lay off the sweets, and recently was told that I'm borderline high blood pressure, so it's only getting worse from here. I'm ashamed to admit that I've become lazy. I sleep all hours of the day, and I don't exercise. I want to be able to live a long life so that I can keep raising my kids. That, and I still have much hell to raise on this earth. In all seriousness, though, I'd love and appreciate if you could cut one of your legendary, hellacious, and inspirational promos on my lazy ass. Something I can hear to motivate me to take my health into consideration